point guard. And he gets it back over to the right wing to Iladigwe. They're playing catch here. St. George is also in a 2-3 zone. So both these teams playing defense not often seen at the high school level. Iladigwe drives in. He gets it back to Neal at the foul line. Jump shot is nothing but the bottom of the net. So both these teams on fire from the field so far. Not a shot missed. 4 taken so far. Highland's got it, and he's bumped. And the foul is going to be on St.Georges. That will be his first foul. We have our first sub of the game. Checking in is sophomore Zach Andrews, and he's going to come in for St.Georges, the freshman. George, I don't think, has started many games this year, so not surprised to see Andrews pop in. Not necessarily anything George did. I think that James is just trying to get some people in. A big give underneath to the big man, Mike McCants, who lays it in, and it is 6-5. St. George's on the other end. It's Iladigwe. Misses the layup, comes down into the hands of Millwood. He fires ahead, finds his man, Owens, who lays it in, and a quick timeout. It's going to be a 30-second timeout as St. George's has jumped out to an 8-5 lead. So Concord coach James Johns has taken the timeout. And if you're just joining us and didn't hear the pregame show, James Johns is the first-year coach for Concord. He played at the University of Maryland Easter Shore, then went on to finish his college playing career at Westchester. He was an assistant coach at Wilmington Friends and then the Life Center Academy over in New Jersey. He coached actually Purvis Ellison, if you remember that name, played at Louisville and then in the NBA. He's coached at Advanced Prep International. He was a volunteer assistant at Southwest Mississippi University, and he's an AAU coach, or was, I should say, for We Are One. So new to Concord, certainly not new to coaching. An 8-5 lead for St. George's. Concord has the ball. They're inbounding under their own basket. Rod Griffin decided to implement a full-court press here. Doesn't bother Concord at all as they get it over mid-court. Paris Hickman has it on the right side. He's being guarded closely by Owens, and he decides to drive into the middle. It's almost stripped away from Highland. We talked about his prowess on the defensive end of the floor. He's not just an offensive player. They work it around, and it ends up over in the corner, and that's a jumper by Zach Andrews. Air ball. Thompson with the rebound, puts it up, and is fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is going to be on number 12. That's Ahmad Taylor, his first, team's first. And Thompson will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Thompson, a great story. He didn't even start. He's only a freshman. Didn't even start on the middle school team last year. First foul shot rattles around, no good. He's averaging, they brought him up to varsity because of the lack of height. He's forced to play center. Coach Johns was telling me they really don't think he is a center, but that's where he's playing because he is the tallest player on the team. Second foul shot rattles in and out, so didn't take advantage of the 2 free charity stripe shots here. 8-5. St. George's moving left to right with the ball and the lead. They whip it, try to get it underneath, and that's a turnover, and Concord comes away with it. Iladigwe's at half court trying to get control of it. He does. He gets it over to Hickman. Hickman turns it over in the lane, and then coming away with it there was Millwood, and he was fouled, and that foul is going to be on Hickman. That will be his first, the team's second. Checking in for Concord is Devon White. St. George's with the ball, an 8-5 lead, 5:42 to play here in the first quarter. John Busby going solo tonight. Ronnie Vickers with me back in the Newcastle studio. Thompson has it. He gets it over into the right corner to Owens. Owen gets it back to the top to Thompson. They get it into Highland. Andrews has drawn that defensive responsibility. Nice passing inside. It ends up in the hands of McCants, who puts it in for 2. 4 points for McCants. A 10-5 lead for St. George's. Quickly on the other end, Iladigwe pulls up at the foul line for the jumper. Thompson has the rebound, puts it in, and scores. So a nice job by the big man underneath. Averages 8 points a game, 8.5 rebounds. He's got 2 rebounds already. It's 10-7. St. George's with a lead. 5 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Highland has scored just 1 point, and that was on the layup to start the game. Comes in averaging 29.5 points a game. Driving to the basket is St. George's Oliver Millwood, and he scores. So Millwood getting a rare start tonight. Comes in just averaging 1.4 points. Already has topped that with that layup, and it is 12-7. St. George's. Highland with the interception, and he slams it on the other end. So Nashawn Highland, you can't keep him quiet for long. His 4th point on the night, It's 14-7. St. George's. Highland almost with another interception, tips it away, and Andrews is on the ground. And coming up with the ball was Ahmad Taylor, and Andrews pretty much held onto his ankles like a defensive back would with a receiver. And they're going to give the ball to Concord. I'm not sure how they're going to give the ball to Concord, but they are. And so Andrews is going to inbounds underneath, and they get it out. Checking in for Concord was Brevin Hines, and a jumper by Andrews in the corner. Another air ball, his second. But Thompson with the rebound puts it up and scores. So Owen Thompson, the freshman, dominating the boards. That's his fourth rebound. Rebounded it once, grabbed his own rebound, put it back up, scored, and the foul. And so it's 14-9. St. George's still with the lead as we're at the halfway point of this first quarter. The foul was on Mike McCants. That is his first. Thompson, another free throw. This time it's good. So he's 1 of 3 from the line, and it is 14-10 now. A 4-point lead for St. George's with the ball. Bringing it up is Oliver Millwood. Concord still, and they're actually in a box, it looks like. A box and one with Andrews playing on Highland. And a turnover on the other end. I was shielded there by the bench. I'm here in the corner at the St. George's gym. Not a bad seat, but anything that happens in that far right corner, I can't see. Either way, it's going to be Concord's ball, trailing by 4, 3:53 to play here in the first quarter. Zach Andrews tries to drive around the defense, and he pops it out instead to Neal. Neal whips it over to Brevin Hines. Hines gets it to the foul line, and it's a jumper off the front of the rim by Devon White. St. George's comes down with it. Therese Owens gets it ahead to Highland. Highland goes behind the back, double team. Gets rid of it before he gets trapped. They get it to Owens at the top of the key. He drives in, dishes to the baseline. A pump fake, a nice one there by Oliver Millwood, and scores. 12-footer from the left baseline. 16-10, St. George's over Concord. And now it's Neal on the other end, going coast to coast, lays it up off the front. There's Thompson again. Misses, gets his own rebound. They battle in the middle. Actually, that was Devon White who went up with it. He missed it. Neal has it. He's being trapped on the baseline, and they're going to call a timeout. So Coach Johns saw his man getting trapped there and decided to take a timeout. So a frenetic pace here by both these teams. 3:06 to play. St. George's has a 16-10 lead over the Concord Raiders. And I'm going to tell you about our poster that is done every year by Incognito Productions. It's the premier sports filming company in Delaware, shooting, editing, and creating sports films for teams and individuals. Incognito has you covered with recruitment and game films plus team. See for yourself the top quality of Incognito Productions by heading to nknfilms.com today. And we will have our poster. It is at print as we speak. There is a representative from every team that we covered this year, and we will have those posters on our remaining broadcast. We'll be dropping them off to the schools where we've already been. And I can tell you, Incognito, they do fantastic work, so you want to be sure to try to pick one up at one of our broadcasts. John Busby along with Ronnie Vickers back in the studio, and Concord's got a 16-10 lead, moving right to left as we see it. St. George's looks to be in a 2-3 trapping defense right now. Concord working it around, and they get it inside to Hines. And looks like they called a traveling there on Hines. Looks like he took a big step before he put the ball down. So a turnover for Concord. 2:54 to play. St. George's has the ball. That's Owens dribbling up the floor. He gets it over to Millwood. And they get it back out front to Owens. And Highland with his first three rattles in and out. No good. Skying for the rebound is St. George's. And that was Millwood. And he fell to the floor. And they're going to call traveling on Millwood. So a turnover, but it's a hustle turnover. If you're a coach, you don't mind that at all. Big offensive rebound. St. George's now trapping Concord as they come up right to left. Andrews gets it ahead to White. White then gets it to Neal, and it's blocked out of bounds right in front of us by Taylor. And he quickly gets it ahead to Highland. Highland whips it over back to Taylor, who misses the layup. Coming down with it is Concord, but a steal by Owens, and it goes out of bounds. So it's going to be Concord ball. And we got a substitution here. Checking in for St. George's is Makai Raymond, and he will come in and give Millwood a break for Concord. Checking in is Boyer. That's Quadair Boyer, the junior, and he's going to give another junior, Eric Neal, a break. St. George's still with the press here. Boyer's got it. He whips it over to Andrews. Andrews gets it back to Hines, and Hines whips it across half court to Boyer, and they lob it underneath, and it's a miss by Thompson, but then laid up and in by Brevon Hines, who has his first 2 points of the game. They say, the coach says he's the most talented player on this team once he learns how to play this game at the varsity level. A kick ball on the attempted pass inside by Raymond is going to keep it St. George's ball, and checking in for St. George's is going to be the big guy, number 15, Mike McCants, and he's going to come in and give Ahmad Taylor a break. Taylor with 2 points so far tonight. St. George's ball underneath, 1:57 left here in the first quarter. John Busby going solo tonight. Ronnie Vickers back in our Newcastle studio at 16-12. St. George's, they've led from the onset. Bones Highland hit the layup. And actually, I shouldn't say that. Concord did hold a 3-2 lead because they nailed a three. McCants gets it inside, lays it up, comes off the back of the rim, and there's a scrum underneath. And it looks like they're going to call a foul on Concord. That foul is going to be on Owen Thompson. And it's going to be, I believe it's just going to be his first foul. Checking in for St. George's is going to be Blake Bryant, and he's going to check in, looks like, for Jeremy Kenner. St. George's with it. That's a three from the corner. That's long, but coming down with it is McCants, and he steps out of bounds. So it is going to be Concord ball. That last foul was on Owen Thompson, and that is his first. Another substitution here coming in for Concord is Fetty George, and he's going to give Zach Andrews a break. Those two guys have been coming in and out, spelling each other for the job of covering Bones Highland. They've done a good job so far. Highland only has 4 points, has only attempted one shot from three and missed it as Thompson lays it in after the ball rumbles around in the lane. So Thompson with 7 points, just one shy of his 8-point per game average. It is 16-14. St. George's now with just a 2-point lead as Bones Highland takes it across midcourt and gets fouled. The foul is going to be on Quadair Boyer. That'll be his first. I believe it'll be the team's fourth with 1:18 to play here in the first quarter. St. George's has a 2-point lead, led by as many as 7 at one point. That's narrowed down to 2 here as we approach the 1-minute mark. Bones has it. He fires from 3, long off the back of the rim. Follows his own shot, gets it, and reverse layup, lays it in. So Bones Highland, they played great defense on him there, but they forgot to box him out as he picks up his 6-point, averaging 29.5 points a game. So you almost look at that as a success if you hold him to 6 points in a quarter. And for Concord on the other end, a missed shot, rebounded again by Thompson. Can't get it to go, and it's big McCants who comes down with a rebound and a foul. So another nice rebound by Thompson, but wasn't able to pull it in as McCants got it. Coming in for St. George's is Ahmad Taylor. And also checking back in for Concord is Paris Hickman. St. George's has it, 45 seconds left to play, an 18-14 lead. And they get it to the foul line. They whip it over to the freshman who puts it up and in. A great shot by Makai Raymond, only 5'8", scooped it up and in on the right side. May have even been fouled. 20-14, and now it's on the other end. It's Hickman trying to drive in, kicks it back out to Boyer, hard off the back of the rim, and Highland comes down with it with 22 seconds left to play. Goes behind his leg, loses the dribble, regains control at midcourt. Concord is on the ground, and now ending up with the ball is Hickman, and he knocks it off Taylor underneath the basket. Was trying to go up, looked like for a reverse, had nothing, and so knocked it off the defender Taylor, and it's going to be Concord ball. Checking in for St. George's is Kevin Payton, the 5'11 sophomore. Bones Highland will have the last 11 seconds of the first quarter off. So with 11 seconds left to play, Concord inbounding to the left side under its own basket. They lob it into the backcourt. Hickman gets it right at midcourt, and he whips it over to Hines. 5 seconds left to play. The ball's tipped away and out of bounds, and it's going to stay Concord ball. So there's 3 seconds left to play. Johns has already used, Coach Johns that is, 2 of his 5 timeouts. So even though you would think this might be an ideal situation to set up a play, he's already used 2, so isn't going to use 1 here as Jeremy Kenner checks in for St. George's. Mike McCants, who has 1 foul, checks out. Coach Rod Griffin doesn't want him picking up a silly foul here, and it's going to be a 3-pointer from the left wing. No good there by Paris Hickman off the inbound pass, and that is going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. Your score, St. George's 20, Concord 14. We'll be right back on Fox Sports 1290 and 302 Sports. Raiders. I'm John Busby. I want to send out a happy birthday wish to my son, Riley. He turned 11 today. It's been 11 wonderful years. Riley loves to play sports. He plays flag football in the fall, basketball in the winter, and lacrosse in the spring. Someday, I hope to be broadcasting one of his games. Happy birthday, Riley. And there with a 3 to start out the second quarter is Owens. So Owens nails a three-pointer. He's now got 5 on the day. It's 23-14. St. George's matches their highest lead of the game as driving in for the layup. That was Boyer, missed it, but he was fouled and is going to head to the foul line. And so Concord has made several trips to the foul line so far. Thompson is 1 for 3. Actually, Thompson has made several trips to the foul line so far, and that foul was on McCants. So Rod Griffin took McCants out late in that first quarter so he would pick up his second as Boyer hits his first of 2 free throws. But McCants picked up his second foul there. Got in foul trouble when we broadcast the game at Hodson. Ended up not hurting him in the long run, but he did have some trouble there as Boyer hits 2. And so it is now 23-16. St. George's with the lead and the ball moving left to right as we see it. And it's McCants with the ball. He's on the ground. There's a scrum. And I'm shielded here. They're going to call a jump ball, and so it should be Concord's ball. Checking in for St. George's is Millwood. He's going to check in for Raymond, the freshman who's got 2 points as he checks out. So for Concord, it is Hickman, it is George, Hines, Thompson, and looks like Boyer there. I was shielded there for a minute. And driving in, scooping it up, no good. That was George, and it is kicked out to the foul line, picked up, and a little up and under there by Hickman. Doesn't go. Concord still with the ball. Boyer's got it now behind the three-point line, skips in, and he is fouled. And I think the foul is going to be on Owens. It is. The foul is on Tyrese Owens. That'll be his first. And I believe it'll be the team's 4th. And going to the foul line will be Quadair Boyer, where he just finished being 2 of 2. First shot is up, and this one's off the back of the three to go. A couple fouls here picked up by the Concord Raiders. St. George's has a 23-16 lead with 6:53 to play. Highland inbounding underneath his own basket right to the right. They work it around and get it to Owens at the top of the key. They get it back to Highland, who has yet to make a 3. They whip it back over to Millwood. Millwood fires from 3, comes up short. Owens with a rebound, though, but then loses it, grabbed it with one hand instead of 2, and it's going to be a jumper by Illadigwe on the wing from about 13 feet, and it comes out and into the hands of Bones Highland, who's got it with 6:30 to play in a 23-16 lead. Concord now looks to be sort of in a matchup box and 1 on Bones Highland, and it seems that whatever side Highland goes to, somebody pops out on him, and just when I mentioned he hasn't hit a 3, he nails one from just to the right of the top of the key to extend St. George's lead to 26-16, their biggest lead of the night. 6 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Concord's got it. Andrews on the left wing being guarded by Owens. St. George's in a 2-3 zone. McCants in the middle, but he's coming out on the top to the foul line to play Hickman. They lob it underneath to Thompson. Thompson with a nice pump fake, gets Bones in the air and comes down and scores. So Owen Thompson now has 9 on the night, came in averaging just 8, and the lead now is 26-18 after the 2-point layup by Thompson on the nice pass inside over top of McCants. They get to the other side to Taylor, spins inside, scoops it up, and they're going to call traveling before the ball even got to the rim. And so it's going to be Concord ball. Neal's going to check in, and he's going to check in for George, who will have a seat. George has 3 points, but it was on a three-pointer at the beginning of the game. So scoring has not scored here in the second quarter. 26-18, 5:30 to play. St. George's with the lead. Concord with the ball. St. George's in that zone. Concord moving right to left. Illadigwe faked the three-pointer from the top of the key, moving it around. They get it over to Neal. Neal gets it into the corner to Hickman. Hickman gets it underneath to Thompson. Thompson loses it on the dribble. He's double-teamed there, manages to get the ball back, and then whips it over to Andrew on the baseline. He whips it back out to Illadigwe right in front of me. Three-pointer from the left corner. Ends up in the hands of Taylor, and then Taylor steps out of bounds, so it's going to be Concord ball. So Concord with a lot of hustle. They've gotten a lot of offensive rebounds and a lot of the scrums on this end of the court. I'm under the basket that they're shooting on right now. They're going to inbound, trailing 26-18. Thompson has it at the top of the key. Not a threat from out there. He gets it to Neal. Neal decides to keep it. After faking inside with a power dribble, he brings it back out, trying to extend the defense out so they can lob it into Thompson. And McCants comes up to the foul line, but as he does, Taylor drops down. Coach Rod Griffin's yelling at him to make sure somebody stays on Thompson. Concord working it around. They're in no rush here. They're within 8, 4:40 to play in the second quarter. Illadigwe with a pump fake after the drive, and it's good. A little 10-foot jumper from the right baseline. A nice move by Illadigwe as he picks up his first 2 points of the night. Leading scorer for the Raiders, so a nice defensive job by St. George's on him. 4:25 to go, and it's 26-20, and it looks like Rod Griffin is going to take a full timeout. So he has seen a 10-point lead, the largest of the night, now evaporate to just 6 as Concord has scored on 3 straight possessions, and so Rod Griffin is going to take a timeout. If you love sports and are looking for a way to give back to the community, why not give Special Olympics a try? The organization is always looking for experienced players and coaches to help coach their teams. For more information, visit SODE.org. Speaking of Special Olympics, one of the biggest events in all of Delaware, one of the biggest fundraisers, the Lewis Polar Bear Plunge, is this Sunday, February 4th at 1 o'clock down at Rehoboth Beach. Almost 4,000 people the organization is expecting will jump into the ocean as part of the 27th annual plunge. It's an event that has raised more than $10 million for children and adults with intellectual disabilities who compete in 19 sports year-round for Special Olympics. If you don't want to jump in the water, there's plenty to do on Saturday. You can do the 5K run of the plunge at 1 o'clock. You can do the fire and ice, wing tasting and ice cream sampling at 12 o'clock at the Rehoboth Beach Fire Department. And then you can do the chili contest. $5 get you a ticket into 12 different restaurants to sample chili. Just $5. That's total, not per restaurant. For more information, visit plungede.org. St. George's coming out of the timeout with a 6-point lead, 26-20, 4:20 to play here in the second quarter. And the foul, it looks like it's going to be an offensive foul there. An illegal pick is going to be called on Ahmad Taylor. That's his second foul, so he's got 2. McCants has 2, and we're only halfway through the second quarter. Concord's got the ball trailing 26-20. 4:15 to play in the second quarter. Illadigwe with a floater in the lane, in and out, and coming down with it is Taylor, and he bounces it over to Owens. Full court pressure by Concord here, picking up man-to-man. And Owens gets around Illadigwe, and then he tries to whip it across court, but Neal intercepts it, then gets it ahead to Illadigwe. He pumps fake, and it looks like it went out of bounds off of Concord. Refs looking at each other are going to say it went off St. George's, going to stay Concord ball. So a nice defensive effort there by Concord. Weren't able to pull off the layup there, and Illadigwe ended up going off the leg of one of the St. George's players. And so Concord will inbounds. That's Andrews. He's got to get back inbounds, and Highland literally strips it away from him, and then Illadigwe goes to try to strip it back, and the two kind of stare each other down. Rod Griffin's telling his players to get away and get back to business there. The foul is going to be on Illadigwe when it's all said and done. That'll be his first. And so we have 2 substitutions coming in for Concord. Is going to be Quadair Boyer. And then checking back in for St. George's is going to be number 21. Actually, I don't have a 21 on my roster, so we're going to have to check that out. They must have added that to the book because I saw the book about an hour before tip-off. But either way, 21's got the ball. He gets over half court, 3:45 to play. Home team with a 26-20 lead. St. George's over Concord. They work it around. They try to get it underneath to Millwood, who got a rare start tonight, and he gets it to Taylor at the right elbow. It's stripped away by Paris Hickman, and the scrum on the ground, and they're going to call a jump ball. So getting a little chip here. Both teams hustling. Refs are talking about it, and it's going to stay St. George's ball after the jump ball signal. 3:31 to play. 26-20, the Hawks, the home team, with the lead as they work the ball around. And driving down the middle is 21, up and under. It's good, and he was fouled. So definitely got to find out who that was. And either way, the basket is good, and the foul is going to send him to the foul line. Foul is going to be on Eric Neal of Concord. That will be his first foul. I have the team for 7, so St. George's will be in the 1-on-1 the rest of the way as St. George's heads to the foul line with a 28-20 lead, led by 7 at the break. And I'm sorry, 6 at the break. Foul shot is no good. Now have an 8-point lead, 28-20. St. George is led by as many as 10, just a couple minutes into this second quarter. 3:13 to play. John Busby here going solo tonight. Marty Sheehan will be back with me next Tuesday when we head to Newark High for the Newark Mount Pleasant game. Driving in is Hickman on the right side. Scoops it up with the left. McCants can't do anything about it because he's got those 2 fouls. So Hickman with his first 2 points of the night. It's 28-22. We're under 3 minutes to play here. Ball is stripped away. They get it up ahead to Hickman. Hickman skies, but Highland blocks it. We talked about his defensive efforts. And then coming down with it is St. George's, and the ball gets stripped away, and they're going to call a foul on Paris Hickman. So his second foul might have been a frustration foul there after missing that. Wasn't a wide open layup by any stretch of the imagination, but still a layup that he probably thinks he should have made. And as I just mentioned, St. George's is in the 1-on-1. That is the 8th foul on Concord. And so St. George's will head to the line for 1-and-1. Checking in is Owens, and he's going to come in for McCants. McCants is going to have a seat. He's got just the 2 fouls, but Coach Rod Griffin probably doesn't want to pick up a foul on the defensive end here with 2:45 to play. First foul shot is up, and it is good. So after missing the foul shot in the +1 situation, St. George's hits that one to take a 7-point lead, 29-22. 2:46 to play here in the second quarter. St. George's Concord at St. George's Technical High School. Second shot is up, and it is good. So now 2 of 3. That number 21 is. Concord's got it, and the full court press, a trapping zone press. They get it across. Andrews gets it under Thompson. Thompson lays it in. So best way to break a press is to get a layup, and that's exactly what Concord did. So 30-24, the Raiders with just 1 conference win so far this year, going toe-to-toe with St. George's Hawks, who are 4-1 and in second place in the conference. William Penn leads the conference. They get it into the lane to Millwood, and he drives down the lane, but he is going to be fouled by Concord. The foul is going to be on Quadair Boyer. That is his second foul and the team's 9th. So still a 1-on-1 situation as Millwood heads to the foul line to shoot it. Checking in for Concord is going to be Miles Jackson, and he's going to give, looks like, Boyer a break. And coming out is going to be Tyrese Owens. And we'll check the number there. I'm shielded right now by the man who checked in for him. Oliver Millward, 4 for 8 coming into the night in foul shots. Made the first. He'll get ready to make his second. So 5 of 9 on the season now for Oliver Millwood. Didn't see him start. Not sure he started any games, but he made both of those free throws. Averages 1.4 points a game, so he's got 6 on the night. Triple, more than triple his average. 2:20 to play, 32-24 lead. Concord gets it over and beats the press without any problem. And that is Miles Jackson with it in the quarter. Shot from the right elbow, no good. Coming down with it is St. George's, and they will head the other way with an 8-point lead as we reach the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. Up at the top of the key, St. George's has it. They get it to the foul line. That's Taylor with it. He spins him around, and then a shot is rejected by Thompson. Thompson gets it in, makes a great play to Hickman under his own basket. Hickman driving 1-on-2, floats it up. No good, but coming down with it is his teammate. That's big number 33, puts it up and good, and Jackson is going to have the old-fashioned 3-point attempt as it was up and good. The foul on St. George's is going to be on Ahmad Taylor. I have him for 3, and if that's the case, they're going to rush to get him out of there. And sure enough, that's exactly what Rod Griffin looks to be doing as Owens checks in. Actually, he's going to check in for 21. McCants and Taylor, the two big guys, or Taylor is going to stay in. McCants already on the bench with those 2 fouls, and the foul shot is up and good. So Miles Jackson, who gets a rare, significant playing time today, the freshman, has 3 points, and checking in for St. George's, Millwood checks in, McCants checks back in, and then Kenner runs in off the bench. I'm not sure he even checked in, but none of the refs saw it. Bones gets it underneath to McCants. McCants goes up with the left hand, gets fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2 with 1:36 to play. Concord has pulled within 32 to 27. The foul on Concord is going to be on Hickman. That is his 3rd. And so it will be interesting to see if they end up, if Coach Johns takes him out or not. McCants going to the foul line, has 4 points tonight, misses the first foul shot, heavy off the back of the rim. A 67% free throw shooter, so not bad for a big man. And, you know, the big men in high school, you got to be able to shoot free throws because you're going to get the ball inside and you're going to get fouled, and that's what happens to McCants. And he hits that one, nothing but the net. That's the McCants that we know as one of the better big men free throw shooters in the state. 33 to 27. Concord with the ball going coast to coast is Neal for the score. So Eric Neal with his 4th point, and now a steal by Concord, but they're going to they call him out of bounds or a foul. I couldn't see it there. It looks like they're going to call him out of bounds, and it's going to be St. George's ball. Inbounding is going to be Owens. And a lot of hands-on defense and offense there. Ref trying to break that up. And Owens gets it over to Millwood. And Millwood is in the back part of the front court on the left side. They get it to Highland. They're trying to trap him. They get it to Millwood. Millwood drives down the middle, stripped right away by Neal, and then stripped back by Millwood. And Owens has it now. He's in the trap. He bounces it over to Millwood. And Millwood gets it up to the right side, and Highland goes in the baseline, misses, but is fouled, and so he's going to shoot 2. And that foul is going to be on Paris Hickman, and that is his 4th foul. So I'm surprised that Hickman is still in the game, just picked up his 4th foul, although the scoreboard says 3. And I thought that was because they hadn't changed it yet. We'll see if they change it because Hickman had the last foul. Either way, Highland is going to go to the line and shoot 2. He makes the first. That gives him 10 points on the night. And actually, that must be Hickman's 3rd foul because they haven't changed it to a 4th foul. And so, and it looks like they're going to try to get a substitution in here. Rod Griffin is, as Bones hits the second, a 74% free throw shooter. Checking in for the Hawks is going to be Kevin Payton, and he's going to come in for McCants so that they can make sure he doesn't pick up his 3rd foul. Concord with the ball, 1 minute to play, 35-29, St. George's with the lead. They lob it over to Neal. Neal kicks it back into the corner to Jackson. Jackson works it around, and he gets it to White on the foul line, and White is tripped up. And so with 49 seconds left to play, that is going to put them in the 1-1. The foul was on Bones Highland, just his first, so not any foul troubles that he has to worry about right now. And it's going to send Concord to the line for a 1-1. First shot is up and good. That's White at the foul line. Devon White takes the first of what was a 1-on-1 situation, will now be a second foul. And every time I think McCants is done in the half, he checks back in. So he's going to check back in, and he's going to come in for Jeremy Kenner, who will have a seat. So with 49 seconds left to play, St. George's with a 35-30 lead, led by as many as 10 early in the second quarter. Had a 6-point lead after the first quarter. It's 35-31, so they pulled right back in there, and a near steal as they inbounded to McCants. That was Payton getting the ball inbounds, and he was fouled. And that foul is on Hickman, and that will be Hickman's 4th foul, as McCants is, no, they called it on 30, not 3. So the foul is going to be on Devon White. That is his first foul. I thought the ref had the 3-0 the other way when he was signaling. I have a bad angle on the scores table from the corner down here, and so I'm doing the best I can to get those fouls as they come up. McCants is going to head to the foul line and shoot a 1-1. Actually, it'll be a 2-shot. They're in a double bonus. Lucky for him because he missed the first. Getting ready to make the second here. And person at the scores table who I can't see, but I heard a buzzer and nobody came in, so they must be coming in for McCants. So Rod Griffin doing that offensive-defensive shuttle situation here. McCants misses the second, rattles in and out, and underneath they try to get it, and Hines has it, but he steps out of bounds, and that's going to allow, actually Griffin is now not going to make that substitution. It was going to be Bryant who was going to come in, but now that St. George's is back on offense, they are going to keep McCants in the game. Millwood's going to inbounds underneath. They get it over to Bones Highland in the right corner. Fires for three. Nothing but the bottom of the net. The second three-pointer for Bones Highland puts his team up 38-31. 35 seconds left to play. Hickman's got it still in the game with those three fouls. He drives in all the way across, tries to get it out, and is going to get lucky. The ball was tipped away by St. George's, so it's going to stay Concord ball. He was out of control, picked up his dribble, had nowhere to go, and flung it inside and barely tipped by St. George's. And now McCants is going to check out, and it's going to be Bryant checking in for him. Blake Bryant, the 6'1" freshman. Concord has it, 25 seconds left to play, trailing 38-31, and it's going to be a jumper from the right corner by Jackson, and he gets his own rebound at the foul line, dives to keep it in bounds. They work it around. Neal has it, pump fakes Bones up into the air, drives down to the middle, air ball, and then they're going to say it's out of bounds on Concord as Jackson came down with it but was standing on the wrong side of the baseline. So 38-31, St. George's will have the ball. 11 seconds left to play here in the first half. Full court pressure by Concord. Bones Highland has it, looking for a pick. Can't find one. And a nice defensive job there by Concord. Highland forces one up and nothing but the bottom of the net. Nothing you can do about that if you're Concord. They played perfect defense with 10 seconds to play, and Highland, that's why he averages 30 points a game as he puts the St. George's Hawks up 41-31 as we come to the end of the first half here at St. George's Tech. Coming up at the half, it's the Fox Sports 1290 halftime report presented by IBEW Local 313. We're going to send it back to Ronnie Vickers for that report, and then we'll come back to talk about the first half. Once again, your halftime score, St. George's 41, Concord 31, here on Fox Sports 1290.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens, and bathrooms. Want a professional, no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined Patterson Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com. The Hadley Group is your local real estate resource. Brian Hadley joined and began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979.
Life's too short to hate your home. Remodel your home with the pros voted Delaware's #1 home improvement company. Ferris Home Improvements has something for every homeowner at their new showroom on the corner of Kirkwood Highway and Harmony Road in Newark, Delaware. Explore products and layouts with the area's top designers. Touch and feel products that inspire your dream space. Ferris Home Improvements' pride in the details make them the area's best in roofing, windows and doors, siding, decks, kitchens and bathrooms. Want a professional no-pressure remodel? Go see the best at the Big Shamrock on Kirkwood Highway. Ferris Home Improvements. Quality workmanship from a neighbor you can trust.
Schwartz & Associates in 2005. In 2013, Nicole Flora joined Brian, followed by Emma Burnett and Grant Jepp in 2014. That's when the Hadley Group was formed. Patterson Schwartz Associates offer you exceptional knowledge of local market conditions and a commitment to represent you honestly and professionally. So for your next purchase or sale, think the Hadley Group. Visit our website at thehadleygroup.re.com. In 2002 as a mortgage consultant. Since 2002, Brian has helped over 1,000 home buyers achieve their dreams of owning a home. Brian's knowledge of current market conditions and his detailed evaluation of buyers' finances ensures that each buyer will receive the best mortgage to fit their needs. Brian is often commended on how efficient and effortless he makes the mortgage process for everyone from first-time home buyers to investors to experienced buyers. For the loan that fits you, contact Brian today. Mr. Italian began his career in home finance in 2002 as a mortgage consultant focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique image, you envision, we create. Unique Image opened for business in Wilmington, Delaware in 1979 with one focus, wowing our customers with great products and even greater customer service. 30 years later, we are still doing exactly that. Whether you're looking for marketing tools to promote your business, gifts for your employees or clients, or planning a special event, we're here with the voice of experience to help you every step of the way for your complete satisfaction. Visit our new showroom in the Mill Creek Shopping Center, 4577 Kirkwood Highway. Unique Image, you envision, we create. Unique Image open for business.
One lead over the Concord Raiders in a game between two Blue Hen Conference teams. The Hawks in second place in the conference, trailing William Penn with a 4-1 record. Concord 1-4. They picked up their first conference win against Houghton last week. St. George's was number 10 in the News Journal Top 10 poll, but dropped out this week, replaced by Woodbridge, who are in the rankings despite losing to both top teams that they've faced. They sit atop the Henlopen South Conference. We're about a minute away from the second half starting here, and it's a game that it seems has always been in the hands of St. George's. They led 20-14 at the end of the first quarter, jumped out to a 23-14 lead right away in the third quarter, led by as many as 10 early on in the third quarter, or the second quarter, I should say. Concord pulled within 4 points late in the second quarter, but then a run by St. George's gave them the 41-31 lead at the half. St. George's, led by their leading scorer on the season, Bones Highland, had 17 points, including 3 3-pointers, 2 of 2 from the foul line. 6 points for the senior Oliver Millwood, getting a rare start tonight. Came in averaging just 1.4 points a game, so has tripled his output already. 5 points for Tyrese Owens and 2 points apiece for Makai Raymond and Ahmad Taylor. For Concord, they are led by Owen Thompson, the freshman. Has probably unofficially 6 or 7 rebounds, but he's got 11 points, picking up the garbage in the lane on the offensive boards. 4 points for Eric Neal, 3 for Miles Jackson and Fetty George, and then rounded out 4 for Eric Neal, I should say, and then 2 points rounds it out for Matt Illadigwe, Paris Hickman, Quadair Boyer, Davon White, and Brevin Haynes. And that's where we got to 41-31 as Concord is going to inbound the ball. They're moving left to right as we see it here back in the corner. Going away from us right now in the maroon uniforms and the white trim, St. George's in a matchup zone defense, it looks like. Now they've switched to a man-to-man. St. George's in the white uniforms with the blue and green trim. And Eric Neal got it for Concord. He works it over to the left, tried to get it, and now does to Illadigwe. Illadigwe has it, dribbles between his legs, the leading scorer for Concord with an 11.3 points per game average, held to just 2 points in the first half. Hickman gets it. He goes over the left elbow, whips it across to Andrews. Andrews fires from 3. Hasn't had much luck off the back of the rim, and coming down with it is Illadigwe. Andrew gets it back. He whips it across to Eric Neal, and he works it over to Illadigwe. And Illadigwe being guarded by Owens, and it looks like one of the things Coach James Johns talked about was taking your time and working for a good shot, not necessarily the first shot that you have. As a whole minute has ticked off here, Concord's held the ball the entire time and has attempted just that one 3-point shot. Hickman has it. He drives in, forces it back out to Illadigwe. That 3-pointer is short, but with the rebound is Neal. He goes up, and it's partially blocked. Neal ends up with it again. Can't make the wide-open layup on the left side, but it's going to stay Concord ball. So a nice job inside there by the Concord players, despite the poor shooting. Missed 4 shots that time. Managed to come up with the rebound and eventually the ball as Andrews inbounds underneath his own basket. He gets it to Neal, who chooses not to take the 3. And instead he gets it and plays catch with Hickman here at the front. Hickman winds it over to Andrews. Another wide open 3 for Andrews off the front of the rim, but there's Thompson with another rebound for Concord. So a minute and a half, and Neal finally scores for the Raiders. So patience is a virtue as Eric Neal scores to give the Raiders the first 2 points of the second half. Owens on the other end for St. George's drives in on the left, scoops it up with the right. So Tyrese Owens scores first for St. George's in the second half to reestablish that 10-point lead 43-33. Owens with his 7th point on the night. 2 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Neal has it. He's trapped by Bones. He gets it over to Illadigwe. Illadigwe drives down, pulls up on the right elbow, and misses short. And Bones Highland comes down with a rebound for St. George's and brings it up right to left, works his way around the trap against the zone. Owens fires from 3 right in front of me in the left corner. Misses long. Thought he came down with his own rebound. Instead, it's stripped away by Hickman, who drives in and scores. So Hickman, playing with 3 fouls, now has 4 points, and it's 43-35. St. George's with the lead, 5:24 to play in the third quarter, and there's a steal, and Bones Highland doesn't even chase it down. Neal has it, misses it. Thompson tips it in, and so another offensive rebound put back by Thompson, and it is 43-37. St. George's moving right to left now. 3 minutes gone, 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. They tried to get it underneath the McCants. It is stripped away, and coming away, streaking down the right side is Hickman. He tries to get it inside. Bounce pass goes off of Millwood, gets kicked around a little bit. Illadigwe ends up with it, gets it to Neal in the corner. He drives in. McCants blocks it, but they're going to call a foul, so that is going to be the 3rd foul on McCants, and it's going to send Eric Neal to the free throw line to shoot 2. So with 4:48 to play, a lead that was once 10 is now 6. Checking in for St. George's is Makai Raymond, and he's going to check in for Tyrese Owens as Neal is at the charity stripe, ready to shoot 2, trying to pick up his 7th and 8th point of the night. First shot is up and rattles in and out, so he'll get a chance at a second. Score remains 43-37. John Busby here going solo tonight. Marty Sheehan will be back with me next Tuesday from Newark High School. Buzzer rings to let the sub in, but the sub must be coming in for Neal because they wave him off. Neal's going to get ready to try to hit the second after missing the first. The shot is up and good. So 1 of 2 for Neal gives him 7. And now checking in for Concord is going to be Brevin Hines, and he will check in for Neal. On the floor is Millwood, Makai Raymond, Bones Highland, Ahmad Taylor, and Mike McCants for St. George's. Looks like Concord is going to have a full court press. In for them is Hines and Thompson. They're now in the backcourt. Hickman is in. He's the only one in foul trouble for Concord with 3. Illadigwe is in, and also Andrews, who didn't start the game but checked in about 30 seconds into the first quarter. He's got the assignment of guarding Bones Highland. Did a nice job in the first quarter, held him to just 6 points. Bones Highland trying to work his way in, gets triple teamed at the top of the key, and finally throws the ball away but gets rescued with a foul there. And the foul is going to be on Zach Andrews. That will be Andrews first. It'll be St. George's ball. They're going to inbounds right in front of Rod Griffin. They get it over to Raymond. Raymond breaks the half-court line, and he's called for traveling. So the freshman with the turnover, 4:30 to play, I should say. 43-38. St. George's maintains its lead. They trailed by 1 early on, and since that have held the lead. Concord has pulled to within as few as 4, but St. George's now with a 43-38 lead, and the jumper from the left corner by Illadigwe misses. Highland comes down with it. Looks like he got poked in the eye. Play continues. Highland has not joined the front court, and Rod Griffin takes a timeout. He sees the injury there, and Highland has it. They haven't said it's going to be a 30-second timeout. So for Griffin, he's used 2 of his 5 timeouts. Now, Highland is still out on the court at the top of the key. No trainer has come out yet. It looks like he is making his way over. A trainer was on his way out. I was shielded by the play there. And so it looked like he possibly got poked in the eye. Highland's asking his coach why a foul wasn't called, but Griffin didn't get to spend much time with his team. It was a 30-second timeout, and the buzzer has already sounded. 43-38. We're almost halfway through this third quarter. 4:10 to play. St. George's with a 43-38 lead. The Hawks come in with a 10-5 record. Their in-state losses were to Caravel, William Penn, and Sanford, all top 10 teams in this week's News Journal top 10. So certainly respectable losses for the St. George's Hawks. Their other 2 losses to out-of-state teams in the tournaments that they were in. St. George's ball, it's inbounded And checking in for Bones actually stayed in the game. And so that timeout was certainly a useful one. Otherwise, they would have had to call an injury timeout, and he would have had to come out of the game. But the ball is turned over by St. George's on the inbound. Hickman has it in the backcourt. He's being guarded by Bones Highland. He gets it across to Illadigwe, left wide open at the top of the key, off to the left side, but a nice rebound underneath by Hines, and he's fouled. And he's going to go to the foul line and shoot two. And the foul is going to be on Ahmad Taylor. I have him for 4. The scoreboard has him for 4. So all of a sudden, some foul trouble for St. George's. Taylor with 4 and Mike McCants with 3 as Brevin Hines steps to the foul line to shoot 2. Buries the first one to make it a 43-39 game. He'll get a second. Checking in for St. George's is going to be Owens, and he's going to come in for Taylor, who's going to have to sit probably, I would think, for the rest of this third quarter. 3:56 to play, and he's got the 4 fouls. As Hines gets ready to take his second shot, it is up and nothing but the bottom of the net. So Coach James Johns calls Hines his most talented player as a freshman, and he's got 4 points tonight. They try to get it into McCants. It ends up in the hands of Bones Highland, and he's fouled driving up the middle, and he's going to head to the foul line to shoot 2. Wasn't able to see who that foul was on. We'll see it as soon as they put it up on the scoreboard. The foul is going to be on Brevin Hines. That'll be his first, the team's second. Both these teams with 2 fouls, and it'll be Bones Highland heading to the foul line for 2 shots. He shoots 74%, makes the first one. That's his 18th point on the night. Comes in averaging a team high 29.5 points per game. I'm not sure, but I believe that is also a state high right now in the state of Delaware as he makes his second free throw, his 19th point on the night. 45-40, a 5-point lead for St. George's, who led as many as 10 at the half, and a turnover by Concord. That was Andrews who coughed that one up, and streaking the other way is Highland. He finds Owens underneath. He went under the basket, dished it off. Going up with it is Mitchell, and then coming down with it, it's going to be a jump ball, it looks like they're going to call, or they're going to call a foul. We'll see who that foul is on. The refs are conferring right now. Maybe there was a timeout. Looks like there was a timeout. A little confusion on the court right now. They're asking Coach Johns if he wants the full or 30-second timeout, and he says the full. So it is a timeout. We'll keep it right here. 3:25 to play. St. George's with a 45-40 lead. Heads-up play by Concord. They're calling a timeout as they had one of their players on the floor holding the ball. Otherwise, would have been a jump ball. Incognito Productions is the premier sports filming company in Delaware, shooting, editing, and creating sports films for teams and individuals. Incognito has you covered with recruitment and game films, plus team documentary-style highlight films and posters. See for yourself the top quality of Incognito Productions by heading to nknfilms.com today. If you love sports and you're looking for a way to give back to the community, why not give Special Olympics a try? The organization is always looking for experienced players and coaches to help coach their teams. They do all the training for you. No experience necessary as a coach necessarily, but they do like the coaches to have playing experience, and they also teach you how to coach Special Olympics athletes. For more information, visit SODE.org. So after a 10-point lead at the half, that has been trimmed down to just 5. St. George's 45, Concord 40. Concord will have the ball inbounding right in front of me. In for them is Andrews and Hines. Thompson now in the backcourt. Hickman is in. It's Hines with the ball. He gets it into the front court to Hickman, who drives it on the left side. Blocked by McCants. They're going to call foul. And if they are, that's going to be his 4th. And it is. So Mike McCants has joined Ahmad Taylor of St. George's with 4 fouls apiece. So 2 of the 5 starters for St. George's now have 4 fouls, and there is still 3:16 left to play here in the third quarter. The first shot is up and good by Paris Hickman. That is his 5th point on the night. He'll get ready to shoot his second here. He's pulled his team to within 4, now within 3, and that's as close as they've been since early on. 45-42, 3:12 to play. Bones Highland has it, fakes his man out, pulls up for the jumper. It's long, but there's Owens underneath for the rebound and puts it back in. Tyrese Owens, his 9th point of the night on the layup. It's 47-42, under 3 to play here in the third quarter. Andrews has it. He's fouled there by Bones Highland. For Highland, that's going to be his 2nd foul. It'll be the team's 4th. Checking in for St. George's is going to be Vashawn Wharton. First we've seen of him, he's going to check Mike McCants, who's going to have a seat with 4 fouls. So Wharton, the 6'6 junior, replaces Mike McCants, the 6'6 junior. So you don't lose a lot of height. You don't lose any height. You lose a lot of beef underneath, as McCants seems to have at least 30 pounds on Wharton. But Wharton has a lot of varsity experience. Looks like he got a haircut since the last film I saw. Concord's got it now, moving left to right as we see it. Andrews has it in the corner, and then trapped out there is and there's now a foul at half court, and the foul was going to be against Paris Hickman. Tyrese Owens picks it up, and it's his 2nd foul. And Illadigwe's getting a lecture by Coach Johns right now about something he just did, and Johns better turn around because they're getting ready to inbound the ball, and they need Illadigwe to do it. Andrews inbounds on the far mid-court, and he gets it to Hickman. Hickman being guarded by Bones Highland. Hickman goes right around him, kicks it back out to Andrews, who's had several 3 attempts from the corner. Same result, no good. Thompson comes down with it, as he has about 6 or 7 times on the offensive end, gets knocked out of his hands, and it's going to stay Concord ball. So Thompson has to have at least 10 rebounds total. And St. George's is going to have Ahmad Taylor check back in with those 4 fouls, and he's checking in for Bryant, who's going to have a seat. And so an interesting move here. We may see that offensive-defensive shuttle, although Taylor is in on the defensive end now. I think you would want him just on the offensive end. But either way, Concord's got it. They get underneath. Layup by Illadigwe. So a defensive lapse there as Illadigwe picks up just his 4th point on the night. Came in averaging a team-high 11.3 points a game. 47-44. 3-point difference here. Highland's got the ball at half court. He's being guarded by Andrews, as he has been most of the game. Power dribble, pulls it back out, gets it over to Millwood. Millwood breaks the penetration, puts it back out to Highland. Highland with a miss off the front left. Taylor with the rebound, gets it off to Owens. Owens drives in, puts up a wild shot, no good. Coming down with it is Hickman for Concord, and he's sprinting the other way and lays it in and good. So Paris Hickman, with his 6th point in this second quarter, has pulled the Raiders within 1. That's as close as they've been since they held a 1-point lead early in the first quarter. And Bones comes across half court, and they're going to call a foul on Hickman, a reach-in foul. Really an unnecessary foul when you have 3. Now he's got 4. And there was, as good as Highland is, he's not scoring from out where he was fouled. Checking in for Concord is going to be George and Jackson, and it looks like it's going to be Andrews and White having a seat here. 1:35 to play. St. George's with the ball, just a 1-point lead. Taylor's got it. He's got those 4 fouls, so he's got to be careful on both ends of the court. He hands it off to Millwood. Millwood gets it over to Bones Highland. Highland being covered by George, trying to get around him. A nice job by George, and they call an offensive foul against Nashawn Highland, his 3rd, and just an exceptional job on defense there by the Concord Raiders. We've seen Highland use his hand before and get called for fouls. Checking in for Concord is going to be Boyer, and it looks like he is going to check in for Hickman. So Hickman going to have a seat for the final 1:18 of this quarter with the 4 fouls. 47-46, Concord with the ball, trailing by just 1, looking to take its first lead since early on in the game when they led 3-2 and then 5-4. At the 1-minute mark, working the ball around. George had it. They've got it now, and they throw it away to Jackson, and you can see Coach John's frustration. It was a wide-open pass. Nothing fancy about that, and it sailed over the head of Jackson. So instead of Concord being able to take a lead to close out this third quarter with 53 seconds left to play, St. George's moving right to left in their all-white uniforms has a 1-point lead and the ball. Bones Highland has it. He goes right around the defender, puts it up, and they're going to call a foul. Defense there was by Jackson, and they quickly move him away. And so the foul is going to be on Jackson. They say it happened on the ground, so Jackson picks up his first, and really not a bad foul because your team only has 4 fouls, and Highland doesn't miss layups from inside as Neal is going to check in for Boyer to close out this third quarter. 44 seconds left to play. St. George's inbounds. That's Millwood. Gets it to Highland. He takes one dribble back behind the 3 and nails it over Miles Jackson. So Nashawn Highland, with his 22nd point of the night, extends St. George's lead to 50-46. 30 seconds to play. Concord with the ball here as we close out the third quarter. Neal has it. He's being guarded up top by Highland, who's looking for a pick from Thompson. He gets the pick, works his way around. Iladigwe gets trapped and dribbles out of it, works it over to the right corner. They get it back out to Iladigwe. Has just 4 points tonight, despite being Concord's leading scorer, coming in with over 11 points a game. 6 seconds left to play. Somebody's got to shoot. They get it into the corner. Iladigwe steps back beyond the arc and misses short, and Owens comes down with a rebound. So that is going to bring us to the end of the third quarter. We've got a great one here, folks. St. George's 50, Concord 46, as we head to the fourth here on Fox Sports 1290 and 302 Sports. Taylor hits both of his free throws and extends the lead to 52-46, St. George's. Driving on the baseline on the other end, and it's going to be a foul there. That was George on the baseline. We'll see who the foul is against. And it's going to be a hold, so a 1-and-1. Concord shooting 1-and-1 the rest of the way. And actually, we have a foul out. That foul was on Ahmad Taylor. So Ahmad Taylor fouls out at the 7:31 mark of the game. And replacing him is going to be Tyrese Owens. So one starter replaced by another. 7:31 to play, 52-46, as St. George is on the foul line shooting a 1-and-1, and it is off on the right side. So comes out and into the hands of St. George's. Bones Highland has it. He sprints up the side, goes between the legs, gets it under to McCants. McCants turns and lays it in. So you can't draw it up any better than that. McCants with 7 points on the perfect pass from Bones Highland. 54-46, an 8-point lead. Concord got within 1 point late in the third quarter. And Concord is calling a timeout here as St. George's started with the press, and Coach Johns did not like what he sees. That is a full timeout. According to my numbers, that is fourth timeout for Concord. They've only got one left. 7:09 to play. St. George's with a 54-46 lead. Concord will come out of the timeout with the ball. Coming up after the game, it's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show. American Spirit Credit Union has locations in Newark, Middletown, and Dover. Visit AmericanSpirit.org. Looking for something outside to do this weekend? Why not try the Special Olympics Delaware Lewis Polar Bear Plunge? It's the 27th time the organization has put this event on, one of the largest fundraisers in the state of Delaware, a bucket list item for many, a tradition for many others. Nearly 4,000 people are expected to jump in the ocean on Sunday. The event has raised more than $10 million in the 26 years. It all benefits Special Olympics Delaware, which provides sports training and athletic competition in 19 sports to more than 4,200 children and adults with intellectual disabilities. For more information, visit plungede.org. 7:09 to play here in the fourth quarter. Concord trailing with the ball, 54-46. George has it. He gets it over in the corner to Illadigwe. He kicks it back up top to Hickman, and they're going to call a foul on Highland on the trip. And for Highland, I believe that is his fourth, and it's going to send Hickman to the foul line to shoot the 1-and-1. That is the fourth on Highland. So Taylor already out. McCants with 4 for St. George's, and now their leading scorer, Highland, with 4 for St. George's. And heading to the line is Paris Hickman. He's 2 for 2 on the night. Now he is 3 for 3 as he makes the first of the 1-and-1. So checking in is going to be Neal. And Neal hasn't told anybody who's leaving yet. Now he does. Coming out is going to be St.Georges. So St.Georges will check out. He's the one that missed the front end of the 1-and-1 the last trip down for the Raiders. 54-47. Second shot rattles around and is good. So a nice job there by Paris Hickman, hitting both of those shots. And Illadigwe is going to have a seat. Checking in is going to be Jackson for Concord. 54-48. 7:01 to play here in the fourth quarter. St. George's gets across the half court. After a little bit of pressure, they get it into the hands of Bones Highland. Bones Highland also has to be careful on the offensive foul. Jumper from the right side is no good. Run down there by Millwood, tips it back in, and actually he should have been called out of bounds. He jumped in from out of bounds, which you're not allowed to do. You have to reestablish position, but the referee missed it right in front of me here. And so St. George's ends up with the ball. Bones Highland has it. Millwood gets it to the right elbow where Wharton is. Wharton didn't play at all in the first half. Checked in for McCants once he picked up his fourth foul. And he's got it, and he travels with the ball. So a turnover for St. George's on the traveling call against Wharton, and it's going to be Concord ball. 6:23 to play. Concord moving left to right in the all-maroon traveling uniforms. Decent crowd here on both sides. Actually, looks like sitting in the visitors' bleachers, there's many fans as there are in the St. George's side. Concord gets it across, and they get it back to Neal at the foul line. They work it over to the right side. Andrews fires another three. This one is short again. Comes down in the hands of Wharton, and he hands it off to Highland. Wharton comes in averaging 6 rebounds a game. Got one there. 6 minutes to play and a 6-point lead for St. George's as Highland makes his way through all 5 defenders, floats one up, rattles around, no good, but coming up with a rebound is Wharton. So a great follow-up there by Vashawn Wharton, and that extends the lead to 56-48, an 8-point lead. Coach Rod Griffin is on the floor asking something about the clock there. As he does that, checking in for Concord is going to be White. He's going to spell Jackson with 5:50 to play here. Whatever it was, they figured it out, and Concord's going to have the ball. And bringing it up is going to be Neal, the point guard of this team, one of 2 people, along with Illadigwe, who got a lot of significant playing experience coming from last year's squad, coached by Ralph Flowers. In 13 years, Flowers just did an incredible job here and retired from coaching to spend more time with his family, as there is a foul at the foul line there. Hickman had it, and there was a reach-in, so Hickman is going to head to the foul line. Foul shot could become a critical point here. That foul is on Owens, who picks up his third. Ahmad Taylor already fouled out for St. George's. Bones Highland has 4, and so does McCants. Hickman is 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Now he is 5 for 5 from the free throw line. He's got 11 points, which is 0.8 above his season average. Players jockeying for position on the lane there. It looked like Andrews wanted to step in, and Highland decided he was going to stay there. And so Hickman getting ready to take his second shot. It is up, and it is good. So 56-50, 5:33 to play here. St. George's with a 6-point lead over the Concord Raiders, and Highland trying to get the ball across half court. They're going to call a reach-in foul. That call is on Andrews, his second. The St. George's fans applauding the referees as they feel the fouls have been kind of one-sided. 10 have been called against St. George's and 5 against Concord. To be honest with you, I think the game has been called very fairly by all 3 officials, just St. George's doing more fouling than Concord tonight. 5:29 to play. And they've got 5 up on the board, and they're saying that, a little confusion here, they didn't call the foul on Neal. They called it on Andrews, and so now they have taken it off. It would have been they had number 5 and 5 fouls, and Neal only has 1 foul, so that was incorrect anyway. But either way, St. George's has the ball, 5:25 to play. They're working around. Millwood has it on the left. Him and Owens having catch. Rod Griffin basically telling his team, look, we've got a 6-point lead, 5 minutes to play. We do not need to settle for crazy shots in the lane or long three-pointers. They work it around, and a near steal by Andrews. Highland ends up with it back. Now he's trying to go 1 and 4 behind the legs and turns the ball over. So actually he's going to get a lucky break. They're going to say it went off of Concord. So Bones Highland, as he usually does, trying to get around the defenders. That time he tried to get around 4 defenders, and the 4th one knocked it out of bounds. They get it into Wharton. Wharton kicks it back to Owens. Owens dribbles across the entire length of the half court to his left, and he gets it back to Wharton. They get it over to Highland. They're trying to get him a one-on-one situation. He fires from 3. It's long. Coming down with it is McCants. He gets it back out to Owens, and Owens, a heady play, pulling it back out instead of trying to force the action. Concord now trapping, and they manage to get through that. Millwood gets it over to Owens. Millwood now handling the ball. Owens has it in the back of the front court, and they get it underneath, and it's going to end up with a dunk by Wharton. So a great job, great ball movement there, and Wharton finishes it off with a dunk, his 4th point of the game, 4th point here in the 4th quarter. Neal drives on the other side, spins it up and in. So a nice rebound there, and what I mean by a rebound is a nice way to come back and immediately answer that. Highland turns it over this time, trying to go 1-on-3, doesn't hustle back on defense. Andrews put it up. Highland still has to get across half court, and now it's going to be the beneficiary of a cherry-picking pass from Millwood, and he slams it home. So 60-52 there. Highland didn't hustle back, and it ended up working in his favor, at least right now. We'll see what Coach Rod Griffin thinks when he sees that on tape, but that's how the dunk ended up. So what started as a nice play by Neal, ended up in a turnover and a quick turnaround. The turnaround by Bones, he's coming over to Rod Griffin and saying, that's my fault. And I think Griffin is basically reiterating that with an 8-point lead, you don't need to go 1-on-4 anywhere on the court. Hickman is at the foul line. He makes his first. That makes him a perfect 7 for 7. He was fouled, and they're in double bonus, so it's not a 1-on-1. They'll be in the double bonus the rest of the way. Second foul shot this time hits the rim. I think it's the first time he's actually hit the rim, but it still falls through. So 62-54, and then on the inbound, they're going to call a foul. Couldn't see right when the ref put his hands up. I couldn't see. Highland is going to go and shoot the 1-on-1. He a little slow getting up, but does eventually get up, and that foul is going to be on Zach Andrews. That is his 3rd, the team's 7th. So now St. George's will be in the 1-on-1 situation the rest of the way, and Deshaun Highland will head to shoot the first of what could be 2 foul shots, shooting 74% on the season from the free throw line. The first shot is up and good. His foul shot is as smooth as his jump shot, and on the night now, that unofficially gives him 29 points, if my math is correct here on the scoreboard. Second shot is up, and it is good. So 62-54. St. George's has led by as many as 10, now leads by 8, 3:48 to play. A jumper from the left side, three-pointer, no good. That was a jump shot by Hickman. Coming down with the rebound is St. George's. They get it ahead to Millwood. He kicks it back out to Bones Highland. Bones Highland going 1-on-3 into the lane, gets knocked away, and he's going to get bailed out with a foul and head to the line and shoot two. That foul on Zach Andrews. That will be Zach Andrews' fourth foul. He's done a pretty decent job on Highland. You know, this kid comes in scoring 29.5 points per game, and Andrews is going to have a seat and be replaced by St.Georges, who will now probably draw the assignment as Highland is going to head to the line and shoot a one-on-one. That was the 8th team foul against Concord. And that is the 31st point as Highland hits that jumper of the night. So 1.5 ahead of his average, the 7th time that he has scored 30-plus points this season. Foul shot, the second one is up and good, and so it matches the biggest lead for St. George's, 64-54, and a turnover by Concord trying to get across half court. That was Neal who lost control of the ball, and he's going to be subbed for by Matt Illadigwe, who's going to come in with 3:29 to play, and his team trailing by 10. The inbounds by St. George's into the backcourt is to Highland. Highland being guarded closely there by George. Gets it across half court, and George reaches in and knocks it away. And actually, the foul's not going to be on George. The foul is going to be on Illadigwe, his second. George was there with the double team. And so the guy you don't want to head to the foul line is heading back to the foul line, and that is Nashawn Highland, getting ready to try to make his 32nd and 33rd points of the game. The first shot is up, and it is good. So now St. George's with its largest lead of the night, 65-54 plus 11, as Highland will get ready to take his second shot with 3:21 to play here. It is up, and it is good. So Highland, a perfect 8 for 8 in the second half from the foul line, 10 for 10. Gets the steal off of Hickman and slams it home. So Nashawn Highland hitting the threes, hitting the foul shots, and hitting the dunks. His third dunk of the night. The biggest lead for St. George's, 68-54, as we reach the 3-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. And it looks like there's been a technical foul called against Coach James Johns here. I'm trying to see what the call is. And it does look like it is going to be a technical. Coach Johns is still arguing about something. His assistant is trying to calm him down. And Coach Johns has a seat here. And who else other than Nashawn Highland would head to the foul line to shoot the two technical foul shots? It is up, and it is good. And he will get ready to take his second one, a 15-point lead now, 69-54, 3:02 to play here. As Highland gets ready to take the second one, it is up. This one at least hits the rim, but still manages to fall in. So 69-54, largest lead of the night, 15 for St. George's. And Concord was in this, and still not over, obviously, but things look to be getting out of hand for the Raiders. St. George's, after the technical, will also get the ball. The inbound in the backcourt to Owens. He quickly whips it ahead to Millwood. He gets it to Owens right over half court, 2:55 to play. Concord looking to try to trap. They're playing the man-to-man trap outside. They get it to Wharton on the right wing. He doesn't even think about shooting, and he gets it over to Millwood and rattled around there on the floor, but Bones Highland ends up back with his hands. He gets it to Millwood in the right corner. They get it to Owens inside to Wharton. Wharton turns as if he's going to shoot, and instead he kicks it back out to the corner. Highland has it in his hand beyond the three on the right side, being guarded by three different Raiders, looking to try to make a move inside, drives in, up and under, no good, and coming down with a rebound is White. Not the shot that Rod Griffin wanted, I'm sure, 1-on-3, and hoping for a foul, but didn't get it. On the other side, it's Illadigwe trying to shoot the three from the left corner, and it's smacked into the bleachers by Vashawn Wharton. So with 2:15 to play, nothing going right for the Raiders right now. They trail by 15, 69-54. They inbound it, and driving down the middle is Hickman, and he scoops it up and in with his right hand. So Hickman having a fantastic fourth quarter, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 points there, 16 points on the night, averages 10.2 points a game. Under 2 to play, 69-56. Great feed by Bones underneath the Wharton, who misses the one-handed dunk and then goes to put it back up. and the foul is going to be against Concord. Wharton is going to go to the foul line, but there you had an opportunity to see the way that Bones Highland can do so much more than shoot. He could have easily taken that layup. Instead, he tried to dish it underneath to Wharton for the slam, and Wharton just came up a little bit short, and he's going to head to the foul line and shoot two. Owen Thompson picks up the foul, the freshman. That's his fourth. Wharton puts the first shot in, and it's good. All 5 of Wharton's points have come here in the fourth quarter, averages 3 points a game, so trying to double his season average with this next shot, and it spins around and out, so can't do it, but still a 14-point lead, 70-56. Concord here's got to start taking three-pointers if they have any chance to get back in this. They whip it underneath into the lane. Shot goes up off the front of the rim. Highland comes away with it, goes between his legs, behind his back, and then a little jump hop in the lane, and it's good. So there you got the highlight film if you were looking for one of them, with a little jump stop in the lane. On the other end, Hickman spins in, gets swatted away by Highland, and St. George's is going to come back with the ball. They've got a 72-56 lead underneath to McCants, and he's fouled, and if that's against Thompson, that's going to be his fifth, and it is. So Owen Thompson, the freshman, will foul out. He finished with 13 points, but just 2 in the second half. So a tremendous first half for Thompson. Finished with 11. He had 7 points in the first quarter, 4 in the second quarter, but he's going to end up fouling out with just 13 points here. And they haven't subbed for him yet. Now they do. Coming in for Concord is going to be number 15, and checking out is going to be Thompson. We don't have a 15 on our book. There wasn't one in the book. I checked, so it'll be interesting to see if at this point in the game the referees looked. I went over at halftime, and there wasn't one in there. The shot is up, and it is good by McCants. So McCants with 3 points in the fourth quarter, 8 on the game. And now checking in for St. George's is going to be Mitchell, and he's going to check in for, looks like Payton was going to go in, but he's not. He's having a seat, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. 1:17 to play, 73-56. McCants getting ready to take his second shot. It is up and off the front of the rim, the backboard, no good. Concord comes down with it. George has it as he gets over half court. They work it back out to Hickman. Hickman gets it over, and a three-pointer by Illadigwe is long. In on the rebound is McCants. He whips it out to Highland. He's being defended by Illadigwe, decides to back it out as we approach the minute mark. Hard dribble along the baseline. Nice defense there by White, forces him back outside. Triple teamed, and they're going to call foul, so they're going to send Highland to the line. They're in the double bonus, so it'll be a 2-shot foul. And the ref is turned around looking here. We'll see what something about a mouth issue with George. Not sure what it is. Mouthpieces are not required. It almost looked like the ref was saying that he needed a mouthpiece. But instead he's going to check out. Checking in will be Jackson. Not sure exactly what happened there. And coming in is going to be Raymond, and Kenner. Having a seat is going to be Wharton. And McCants is going to have a seat along with Millwood. And Mitchell's going to stay in. He was heading to the bench, but he is going to stay in. So Highland, the only starter still on the floor, and he makes the first of 2 foul shots. And he's going to check out as soon as this foul shot, if this foul shot is made. 74-56, and now 75-56. As Wharton hits his second foul shot. He is perfect from the free throw line. Checking in for him is Bryant. So all second stringers in right now for St. George's. And what was once a close game, now a 75-56 advantage as the three-pointer is launched from the left side by White. Rebound by Hickman, who's played well with 4 fouls. He scoops it up, and it doesn't make it, but he is fouled. Made a nice pump fake there to get the defense up in the air, and that foul is going to be on Kevin Payton. It'll be his first, and Hickman will head to the foul line for 2 shots here in the double bonus. He is a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line in the second half, and the announcer's jinx ruined that, so he's going to stay right there on the 16-point mark where he is 5 points above his season average. Second foul shot rattles around. That one does go in. 46 seconds left to play. St. George's with a 75-57 lead with the ball. All second stringers in the game right now trying to get the ball across half court. They do. Kenner gets it. He drives in, puts it up with the right hand, and it's good. So Kenner, the 6'1 sophomore, is going to have an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play on that nice drive to the basket and the score to make it a 20-point lead, 77-57. St. George's over Concord with 34 seconds left to play. The foul shot by Kenner is up and good. So the young man gets his name in the box score with 3 points. Hickman driving the other way, trying to force his way in, kicks it back out around, gets it to Illadigwe, drives in, and it comes off the front of the rim. And St. George's comes down with the rebound. 22 seconds left to play. They're trying to bring it across half court. They get it over half court. Mitchell has it, and Concord probably will just let the clock run out right now, although the ball is on the ground, and Concord's going to pick it up. Jackson has it, and he gets it to White. White gets it ahead, and the layup on the left side with the right hand is good, and that was Hickman. So Hickman having an exceptional fourth quarter here, but that's the buzzer, and that's going to bring us to the end of this Blue Hen Conference game. Your final score, St. George's 78, Concord 59. When we come back, it's the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show here on Fox Sports 1290 and 302 Sports.
Picture this. It's Monday.
Raiders 78-59 to move to 11-5 on the season, 5-1 in the Blue Hen Conference. Concord falls to 4-11, 1-5 in conference play in a game that took 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'm John Busby. This is the American Spirit Federal Credit Union post-game show brought to you by American Spirit Federal Credit Union with locations in Newark, Middletown, and Dover. Visit AmericanSpirit.org. And joining me here on the broadcast is head coach Rod Griffin. And coach, I just said 78-59 victory. That wasn't nearly as big as the score, as the score said. How did your team manage to, they were within 2 late in the third quarter.
Yes.
And this is a team that has struggled all season, the Concord team. And, you got your team, and the team, not you, the team was in foul trouble.
Right.
And they still managed to pull it out. What was the key there in the fourth quarter?
Well, I think we changed up the defense a little bit, and the guys really got energized after we made a couple key plays. And, this team, their record is not a good indication of how good they are. And I scouted them last night, and they were up on St. E's in the third quarter, and it was a 5-point game in the fifth quarter. And so a lot of people may think that the record indicates how good this team is, but no, they're a really good, tough team, and I knew that coming in, and you can't look at anybody's record. So I thought that we made a good adjustment on defense. We had some good help defense, and guys had a couple key block shots, and we got energized behind that and finished up the game.
And, you mentioned that, Concord, they've had 5 losses have been within 3 points, and your star player here, Bones Highland, ended up with unofficially 42 points, perfect from the free throw line. I can't do the math while I'm talking, but it's something like 16 of 16. And we've talked after the last game about how he does so much more than score points, and I talked about it on the broadcast, that little dish that he tried to get Wharton for the dunk, even though he missed the dunk. This guy could have dunked it or laid it in himself, and he dished it unselfishly. Talk about, before we talk to him, and I'll let you go, talked about how Highland, people look at box scores, and they think, oh, this kid can do a score. He must be taking a lot of shots. The reality of it is he can dunk, he can shoot from 3, and he can create plays for himself and teammates.
He's a unique player, very talented, and he brings a lot of offensive ability as well as the ability to pass the ball. And he takes a lot of pride in passing the ball and getting assists from his teammates making baskets. And I think that's a bigger thrill for him than scoring a bunch of points. He scores because that's a part of his game, and he can really score. So we don't ever want to tinker with that. And I like his leadership and his growth that he has brought to both the offense and defense this year. And he's had some amazing performances this year. And again, this was not an easy game, and he brought his A game again. And I'm proud of him and the way the team has played this evening against a tough team tonight.
Thank you, Coach, for joining us after the broadcast, as always, and for all you do leading up to the game. We're going to turn the microphone over to Bones Highland. That was Coach Rod Griffin. We always appreciate him taking the time to come over and talk with us. And, Bones, I just dropped 2 plaques off to you on my way in from Crown Trophy. You were our Crown Trophy player of the game the last game. You are going to be the Crown Trophy player of the game this game as well after your 42 points. Perfect from the free throw line. How much do you practice free throws?
Hey, Coach Rod, he has in practice, like after every drill, we got to do 5 sets of 1-and-1, or we got to shoot 10 free throws. After every drill, we got to shoot free throws, and that's obviously working for me and my teammates because we're making a lot of free throws in the game. Now,
a couple weeks ago, you had 53 points against Howard. You had 58 against Hotz, and then you were held to 13 and 15. And as I was telling people that as it was happening, I was following on Twitter. I was saying, that's a career game for a lot of guys, but for you, it's a third of your scoring. How did it feel to get back into the scoring column? I know that's not why you play, as half your points are from the free throw line because you got fouled. Yeah. But it must feel good to get back into your normal scoring routine.
Yeah, it definitely does feel good. Like before the game, I was feeling it. So I know when I'm feeling it, I know I'm about to have a high scoring game. So just before the game, I was just thinking to my head like I'm about to go off, and that's what happened this game.
Now, are you going to give Sean Wharton a hard time for missing that dunk?
Oh, nah. I know he can make it. I'm just going to cheer him on. He'll make it next time.
Yeah, he will. All right, you're a great teammate, Bones. Thank you for joining us on the post-game show. Bones Highland, the Crown Trophy player of the game. Crown Trophy and Glasgow and Wilmington have always been proud supporters of Fox Sports 1290 and the student-athletes in the state of Delaware. Visit Crown Trophy for all the best in trophies, and make sure to check out their varsity letter sports balls. Continuing with the Crown Trophy tradition, each player of the game this season will win a customized Crown Trophy award plaque, and the school will receive one as well for its trophy case. Visit crowntrophy.com. Congratulations for Nashawn Bones Highland for being our Crown Trophy player of the game for the second time in 2 weeks. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about our next game here on Fox Sports 1290. We'll go through the stats real quick, and then that'll call it a night here at St. George's. So one segment left to go here on the Fox Sports 1290 postgame show, brought to you by American Spirit Federal Postgame, with locations in Newark, Middletown, and Dover. Visit AmericanSpirit.org. We'll be right back to wrap this one up. Once again, your final score, St. George's 78, Concord 59. Concord Raiders. Your final score, 78-59, in a game that really was a lot closer than that final score showed, as Coach Rod Griffin explained to us when he joined us on the previous segment here on the post-game show. John Busby here, going solo tonight. Marty Sheehan will join me in Newark on Tuesday. And speaking of that, that is when our next Fox Sports 1290 broadcast is. It's a week from tonight when we go to Yellow Jacket land to see them take on the Mount Pleasant Green Knights. Tip-off of that one is at 5:15, and we'll be on the air at 5 o'clock with the Fox Sports 1290 pregame show. For Concord, they've got almost a whole week off before they host DMA on Monday night at 5:15. St. George's is going to get it right back at it on Thursday when they travel a few miles south to take on Middletown in another Blue Hen Conference Friday matchup. Tip-off of that one is at 6 o'clock. All right, let's go over the scoring for tonight's game for Concord, and these are all unofficial totals. Paris Hickman with 19 points. Owen Thompson, a freshman, 13 points. Must have had double-digit rebounds. Again, I don't know that officially, but he must have had the way he rebounded, especially in the first half. Matt Iladigwe and Eric Neal, both with 9 points, 4 points for Brevin Hines, and 3 for Zach Andrews. For St. George's, led by Nashawn Bone Highland, 42 points, 12 points over his 29.5 average. He was perfect from the foul line. 14 of 14. He had 4 3-pointers and also created a lot of other scoring for his teammates. 9 for Tyrese Owens, 8 points for Mike McCants, who played much of the second half in foul trouble. 6 for Oliver Millwood, 5 for Sean Wharton, 3 for Jeremy Kenner, and 2 apiece for Makai Raymond and Ahmad Taylor. So that is your scoring on the night. And with that, that's going to wrap up the American Spirit Federal Credit Union postgame show. For our producer, Ronnie Vickers, the crew of 302 Sports here on site producing the live stream, I'm John Busby. Once again, your final score, St. George's 78, Concord 59. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, good night from St. George's Technical High School.
This has been the Delaware High School.
All right, Ronnie, thanks.